Hello again, everybody. This is Ed with another episode of Call Me Mr. Broadstreet. To those in the United States that are watching, a very happy Labor Day weekend. I hope you're enjoying time with friends and family. This week it's going to be sort of a short video, although you never can tell with this channel, right? How long or how short a video can be sometimes. This is a bit more of an off-the-cuff topic that I wanted to cover for a little bit. As you saw in the photos, it's basically covering the topic of a Beatles Memorabilia price guide I have, and also some fanzine magazines, specifically Beatlefan, that I had, sort of pre-internet, recent history, if you will. And when I'm talking recent history, now, the recorded entire history of the Beatles stretches back to 1962, so we're talking 60 years at this point. As far as solo careers, individual releases, we're talking over 50 years at this point. So put it all together, recent history to me could mean anything from 10 years ago to 20 years ago to maybe even 30 years ago. Almost in the case of some of these magazines, at least, that I'm going to present. Now first, what I'll start off with is the Beatles Memorabilia price guide I have right here. It's just been part of my collection for a long time. Now, it was released in 1993, and I was kind of looking over it a little bit before starting to film for this review. And I had a couple of the items saying, oh, the highest price range would be something like $500 in this condition. Well, given that it's been almost 30 years as of 2023 next year, I really wouldn't rely on this price guide as accurate as far as purchasing any items. You could easily take $500 tops for an item or $1,500 tops for an item. You could probably double or triple that price point, excuse me, during this particular time, given the rarity of the item, is it legitimate, who you're buying it from. So certainly the prices have increased as time has gone on. But it's still just a very nice book to have if you pick up something close to it. It's a very good kind of visual representation all in one place of different things. So I'm looking through now, I've popped to a page with the Beatles record player right here. I'll get a little closer. There you go, see? Beatles record player, which would probably go for quite a bit more money than back in 1993 when this was done. Movie and related items. Right here, let's give that a second. Yeah, you can see, let it be poster, all that type of thing. So again, it was very fun to have. I've had this in my collection, it feels like forever. I don't know what the memorabilia price on this book would be. But again, a very good, visual dictionary written by Jeff Augsburger. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the name and you happen to be watching this, but Jeff Augsburger, Marty Eck, and Rick Rann, R-A-N-N. So, just very nice to have. Again, the price points, you're going to want to really do your research. And that's kind of more of a little bit of a general topic I have with collecting any Beatles items, any solo items out there. Make sure you're budgeting for it. Make sure you know what you're getting, that you know that the item is legitimate, that it's not just, from someone off the street or someone saying, oh, well, yeah, this Beatle actually signed it, when it turns out they didn't. Unfortunately, there's a lot of forgeries and frauds and fake items out there. That's with any fandom. That's the sad fact of life. You've just really got to do your homework when it comes to stuff like that. But again, nice to have. If you could ever pick up one of these, I still recommend it. I know there's Google out there. I know there's all sorts of internet searches you can do. But sometimes it's just good to have it all in one spot to kind of thumb through, as it were. Now, this gives me a little bit of a pause. And, of course, we're going on to kind of the second part of this, this little video. Beatlefan Magazine. Now, Beatlefan Magazine, certainly one of the fan resources out there that was sort of pre-internet. I say sort of because, I mean, they started way back in the believe in the late 70s or early 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Bill King, Bill, if you're out there watching, I'm sure you could correct me in the comments if you happen to be watching this. But yeah, Beatlefan Magazine, very much a great resource. I know they're still in publication. Again, you just get, for an example, 25th anniversary issue right here. Let it be naked at the time. Making of All Things Must Pass. This is from January and February of 2001. I mean, this is very much, prior to George's passing. And, they have other stuff covered, like, when the Beatles came to town, right there. Ringo, leader of the band. Yes, I know these are all in the photos, but touring the Beatles, New York City. Susan, I know you're out there. I know you've done those very tours yourself. I'm actually going to get to your, Susan Ryan, I know you're out there. I'm going to get to the DVD that you're featured in a future review. But, Beatlefan, a lot of good resources in there. Definitely a lot of different types of news. Then current releases, reissues, advertisements for Fest for Beatles fans, or I guess Beatlefest as they were called back then. I still tend to say Beatles Fest, even though I know it's Fest for Beatles fans. It's a hard habit to break. Then current news. I'm looking through an issue with, Danny and Olivia are in the issue. Paul and his baby Beatrice, who's now pretty much almost 20, I believe. But just a lot of good polls, a lot of good information, and very good resources. And this is kind of covering the more recent past, because with these resources, again, I remember Beatles sites, maybe I'm dating myself a little bit as an older Gen X, but Beatles sites like Harold Gernhardt's Beatles site. Harold, if you're out there and listening, I'd love to do an interview with you. Jory Grayson, her site as well. Jory, if you happen to be out listening, love to have you on the show as well. These resources were very vital sort of pre-internet, early days of the internet, even up until the mid-2000s and later. Before there was really the deluge of online coverage, prior to really Google, prior to Facebook, to Twitter, to Instagram. Of course, now every moment of someone's life can be documented. We saw the recent example with the Get Back Blu-ray and DVD with Ringo with his feet in sandals right next to it, for one instance. Every time Paul's going on a vacation somewhere, post something for the Instagram out there. And I get that. That's the way the world is. That's why I'm, partially doing this channel, of course, getting my voice out there. It's understood, and you didn't really have those resources back then, so you had to rely much more on printed resources. You had to hear things on radio, other different avenues of information. We move into the late 20th, early 21st century. It's hard to believe I'm saying that in the past tense, but there it is. Again, Harold Gernhardt's site. I remember reading that back in the mid-90s when there was just internet through text, basically just text on a screen at my college, and it had to translate from German to English to read about. There were sessions after the anthology for Paul's album Flaming Pie, for instance. Or, certainly, sadder news, such as when George had passed, hearing about that, not through just the major news media outlets, but kind of through online, getting little bits and pieces here and there. But certainly in today's market and climate, there's just a lot more information available at our fingertips. The joke used to be the 24-hour news cycle. I think we might be in the 24 nanosecond news cycle, is what it seems like. But again, these items are always well worth seeking out, I think, just to have a little bit of a perspective. The only downside, again, especially with the price guide, as well as it's written as wonderful of a visual item, visual documentation as it presents in the book. The only thing is the prices are obviously going to be in flux, depending on the item. Again, that's the only downside, but that's going to happen with anything. Prices will change sometimes year to year, depending on the item. But really just wanted to share some of that with you. Hope everybody's enjoying the channel. I hope everybody's, again, just resting, relaxing, recharging. That's certainly what I'm doing as of the taping of this. I've got some more good content coming your way for the channel as we keep going along. And that's just about it. So again, just thank you so much to everybody out there, to the new subscribers, to the current subscribers out there. Again, you guys keep me going. It's good to be able to show off all these different items in the collection. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying it. So please make sure to give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And feel free to leave any comments below, especially to anyone around my age group, a little bit older. What type of resources did you use prior to seeing stuff, for instance, on YouTube, on Google, on Instagram, on Facebook? Were you also reading Beatlefan Magazine? Did you have a memorabilia price guide? What other guides did you used to use as your, Bible, so to speak? I don't know, lack of a better word, Beatles Bible, reference guides. What was your to-go resources way back when? I'd love to know in the comments. So besides that, that's it. I will see everybody in the next review. Enjoy the long weekend here in the States, and just stay safe, everybody out there. I'll see you in the next review. Bye.